Now let us discuss about the next important electrical quantity, that is power. So power for a DC can be defined as the product of voltage and current, and for an AC the power can be defined as product of voltage and current and cos phi. Cos phi is the power factor, and I and V are RMS quantities. Now if you see the ratio of this voltage and current gives another important quantity in the electrical design, that is impedance, and which is known as Z is equal to VI, Ohm's law. So this is also known as, very popularly known as Ohm's law, that is the ratio of voltage and current within a circuit. In a circuit, if there is a potential difference between 2 points, that is voltage, and the ratio between the voltage and the current flowing between those 2 points is obtained, then that particular quantity is also known as impedance. For DC it is known as resistance, and for AC which deals with various frequency responses is known as impedance. So for DC quantities, impedance is same as resistance. So the resistance is represented using this symbol, which is, this is R1, R2, R3. So if these three resistors are connected in series, that is one after other, that is one terminal is connected to other terminal of the resistor, and that the other terminal of that resistor is connected to the next terminal of the other resistor, then the total resistance, that is RT, between this terminal and this terminal, that is RT, is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is in case of series connection. And when the connection is in parallel, that is the terminals of each resistance are connected across each other, that is R1, the one terminal is connected to the other terminal, and the same terminal, the other terminal is connected to the same terminal of the other resistor, similarly to the other resistor. Then if these three resistors are connected in parallel, then the total resistance is given by RT is equal to 1 by R1 plus R2 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So hence this is how the circuit or the impedance in DC is also known as resistance. Now let us consider this system. Now this system is a 4-terminal system which has 1, 2, 3 and 4 terminals, and here it has input and here it has output. Now consider, for example, if one terminal is passing through within the system and has the same connection to the output side, then that terminal can be represented like this, and this representation can be also known as common ground. Let me draw a representation. In many circuits, the ground terminal can be represented like this. It serves basic two purposes, that is this common ground provides common return current path for the circuit, and the other purpose is it provides a reference line between the various circuits, and hence like this it can be connected using this common line to other circuits. For example, this system can be connected to other system as a common line as this, and this can be transmitted like this. So similarly, the two systems can be cascaded like this, and since this is connected to this, so this is the same point and it is also known as ground point. Now let us consider this two circuit. Now we need to understand how this interaction between this circuit happens within this. For example, if this system is this, and internally we have two resistance values, that is 1000 ohms and 10,000 ohms connected in series, and we have an output defined at this terminal, and this is an input defined at this terminal. So for example, if this is the input, considered as input, then this whole thing will be considered as Zin. So this will be an input impedance, and this will be a Zout. So this will be a output impedance, and here we have E in. This is input voltage, and this can be all, and this here we have output voltage, E out. Okay, now we have input current I in, and we have output current. So by this we are describing here 4 important parameters, that is input impedance, output impedance, input voltage, and output voltage. Right? So input impedance is Zin, output impedance is Zout, input voltage is E in, output voltage is E out. Right? Now we need to understand how the behavior of this circuit or this system based upon the changes occurring at the output side or input side. For example, if the same circuit is here and we short circuit this particular output, that is here, you can see here the same circuit, it's 1000 ohms, 10,000 ohms, and the output is across this terminal, and this is input. So when we do a short circuit, that is when we connect a zero resistance path between these two terminals, that is across the output, the current flows in the direction or in the path which has a minimum resistance. So since this has a 10,000 ohms and this has a zero resistance, so current will try to flow in this way. In that way, this resistance is bypassed. Hence, we have now the input resistance is also changed because of the change in output. So once you are short circuiting the output, the input resistance, that is here, it has become 1000 ohms. Earlier, when this is open circuit, you see the input impedance, this is 1000 plus 10,000 from the series formula, that is in our circuit we have only 2 resistors, that is R1 and R2. So this is R1 and this is R2. So our total resistance at the input side is 11,000 ohms. Right? 10,000 plus 1,000, 11,000 ohms. And our output impedance is 10,000 ohms. Right? Since we are looking the output resistance across this resistor, the same resistance value will be appearing at the output. So now we have input impedance as 11,000 and output impedance as 10,000 ohms. Now if we short circuit this, our output impedance, that is Z out, becomes 0 ohms because there is no resistance. This is a short circuit path, that is a 0 ohm resistance path is added across the output terminals. Then this particular resistance is bypassed and current is flowing through this path. That's the reason the output resistance becomes 0 ohms or the output impedance becomes 0 ohms. Now since this is 0 ohms and there is no resistance and this 10,000 ohms is bypassed, then our input impedance also is changed to only 1000 ohms. Right? So the impedance across the input also is changed from 1000 ohms. Hence it is very important to describe any parameters for a system, such as an input impedance for a short circuited output or or open circuited output. So for an open circuited output, our input impedance is 11,000 ohms, and for a short circuit output, our input impedance is 1000 ohms. So your impedance in based on your output changes, your input parameters can also change. If we move forward, the similar more coefficients we have to discuss. That is coefficients such as E in, E out by E in. This is also known as voltage gain. Now consider a circuit. E in and E out, and this is 1.5 volts. So if you are putting a 1.5 volt source in path between E in and E out, our E out is equal to E in minus 1.5 volts. Now dividing both the sides by E in, it becomes E out by E in equal to 1 minus 1.5 divided by E in. With this, we understand that the E out by E in, that is voltage gain, is not a constant. The voltage gain of a system may not be constant. It depends upon the input voltage as well, right? So this is the conclusion we can draw from here. And if you look at, now consider this graph. So there is a response from this system. If the system has a linear response, then that means that if an input signal is provided, then the same output signal is generated. If you see the peak voltage, if it is plotted on this axis, this is the response. This is the linear characteristics of a system, where based upon if you are increasing the input voltage, your output current is also increasing. So there is a characteristic relationship between voltage and current. So this is VI characteristics graph. If the VI characteristics graph of a system is linear, then whatever the input signal you are giving, your output becomes the same. Your output follows the input. Now consider if your VI characteristics, this is voltage and current, if it is non-linear. So here the characteristic is linear, and here for this graph the characteristics is non-linear. So it is changing, right? It is not a straight line, it is a curve, it is changing, right? So if you give an input voltage to this non-linear and we plot the graph, the output signal is distorted. So for a non-linear system, your output signal changes, and for a linear system, whatever the input signal you give, your output varies according to your input signal. Now we also need to consider various frequency response. So this is based upon your voltage and current. Now we need to understand the responses of a system based upon the change in frequencies, and that we'll discuss now.